Welcome to Cardiff, where many people live their lives by discovering many different shops, a vast amount of entertainment and attractions. There is even a castle in the middle of the city. If you are wondering, this documentary will explain the unknown parts of this city. So, this is In the early 1840s, South Wales Railway was trying to find a good place to fit a railway station, which was located in Cardiff. However, the Cardiff Central Station was prone to flooding, but it was Isambard Kingdom Brunel's solution to divert the River Taff to the west, creating a larger expansion and a more safe site for the station. In 1872, Cardiff to London trains originally ran via the route to Gloucester and took the average time of 5 hours. This was reduced to 4 hours from 1886, when the Severn Tunnel was opened, helping create a shorter and more efficient route via Bristol and Bath. In 1903, another shortcut was introduced to Cardiff and London by reducing the time to 2 hours and 40 minutes. In August 2020, it was announced that Cardiff Central would be upgraded. Design work had already begun on a £113 million upgrade, which is expected to be funded £40 million from the Cardiff Capital Region Group of local authorities, £15 million from Transport for Wales and from the UK Department of Transport. It is envisaged that work will begin 2022, but that would depend on the design and development. When you think of the ocean, you'd probably imagine the shimmering midnight blue waves clashing into each other, making such an intense yet nice relaxing sound. You'd imagine families happily playing and splashing, having a great time. You think of seagulls trying to get a tasty bite of your fish and chips. But you think of a lot of boats roaming and gliding through the waves too. It's almost like you would want to be there. That's what you and most people think, but after all, Mother Nature has different plans, and that is to make the ocean a deadly weapon. A weapon that could approach people with such a terrifying speed, rapidly coming towards you before you meet your demise, suffocating as the water fills up your lungs and leaving you to die so suddenly. Mother Nature's atrocious aqua weapon is called the tsunami. Something in Cardiff happened like this, but not this year, decade or even a century, but instead 1607. So be cautious everyone, as we will be diving into the depths of the sea and fishing for the information we need, because this is Cardiff's flood of 1607. About 400 years ago, the Bristol Channel took out areas such as Carmarthenshire, Monmouthshire, Chepstow and Cardiff. The flooding caused an irreparable amount of damage to livestock and farmland and included the deaths of an estimate of 2,000 people. The cause from the Bristol Channel's flooding was due to the high sea level and unexpected weather, making the waves and impact of it to be completely devastating. Cardiff got the most amount of damage, with St Mary's Church being destroyed in the process. Flooding in Cardiff today is rare, with our technology giving an estimate on how much rain this wouldn't affect the ocean. But even so, our standards on dams and defences are stronger because our modern materials, which are harder to break, can withstand a lot more resistance against any possible pressure of major floods. On the 23rd of February 2015 at 12:30pm, the old Splot Bingo Hall on Pearl Street caught fire and burnt throughout the afternoon, lasting for several hours. This bingo hall initially stood there until it was reduced to ash and rubble with an in-caved roof to go with it. The flames seeped through the once stable roof and the smoke followed into the skyline like an active smoke bomb. People near the area had to be evacuated by firefighters because they assumed the bingo hall was going to be a disaster for their homes and their lives. A man living in his house right next to the blaze had to be evacuated immediately due to the roof of his house sharing the bingo hall might be in risk to collapse. The fire department had a massive amount of firefighters ranging from parts of Cardiff, Roath, Whitchurch, Ely, Barry and Caerphilly. The fire was finally under control and everything put out. Even though the damages to the old bingo hall didn't look like much on the exterior, the interior was completely destroyed with the metal support beams twisted and contorted. Both directions of Pearl Street were blocked off, with especially Splot Road and Clifton Street. Police were directing the traffic and it affected both directions between Pearl Street and Railway Street. A small land of grass grew over the demolished building. The site was blocked off with a row of tall and thin metal fences in 2015 until the construction crew worked in 2020 to produce a big and brand new flat. The new flats were under construction for a few years with scaffolding grouped next to it like a chainmail armour. That building was once a cinema in 1913 but was rebuilt in the 1930s. After that, the building closed in 1961 and was converted in 2008 to a large bingo hall, then turning into a temporary Christian church until the building got abandoned in 2014. Finally, the flames took over the building a year later. I guess Splot Bingo Hall lasted for a little over a century. Whatever you do, make sure you take care of your business and treat it with care, because you might have a fear of closure or a catastrophic fire coming your way and directly at your business. Imagine if Splot Cinema was never converted but instead had a closure and got abandoned over time. Do you think that cinema might look like these photos? The Queer Emporium is a hangout area for people who are in the LGBTQ+ community, where they can buy food and various products to fit their needs. And it is a place to chill when they're bored or maybe have a chat about their lives, until one day, 2 incidents came. Back in June 2021, the Queer Emporium was founded for the purpose as a pop-up shop in the Royal Arcade in Cardiff during Pride Month. The idea was to bring LGBTQ+ market stalls into a single space. The venture came about when the CEO, called Jan, and his partner Dan both ran market stalls during COVID-19 lockdown for their queer social enterprises. June also saw the shop host their first ever event called Drag in the Arcades, featuring local guests Victoria Scone and Jolene Dover. In July 2021, the pop-up was a huge success, generating widespread attention from the community and media alike. They decided to take on the stall in Morgan Quarter as a shop. They also hosted a first ever LGBTQ+ stand-up event, Howl in the Arcades, as well as a night of Vogue with the Welsh ballroom community. The Queer Emporium had an attack on their shop, with their windows being smashed when it opened on Christmas Day. Their popular shopping venue had their windows smashed, which they were left beyond gutted. They opened up the shop to give people a warm and cosy place to sit. The police received reports of criminal damage to the Queer Emporium, which is a popular LGBTQ+ shop in the St Mary Street in the Royal Arcade. The shop hosts gigs, comedy and drag nights with several other events, which was set to open at 4:30pm on Christmas Day, and they put out an announcement for people to bring food and drinks and to have a great time. However, when the shop's owners arrived, they arrived in the afternoon only to find their window had been smashed. Nevertheless, the owners decided to keep the shop open to everyone despite their shop being partially vandalised. The Query Emporium has become a fixture in the street. The police confirmed that they were investigating the incident. Here's what one of the owners have to say about their shop and story. Hearing about a shop celebrating LGBTQ+ getting vandalised sounds horrible, but Reddit says otherwise. Opinions are opinions, but some aren't welcome. To this day, the Queer Emporium is still running without any problems, and I guess the owners and everyone from the LGBTQ+ community are full of pride. Ely is an interesting place where people live. Many people go to school there, and some kids have fun by playing on their local streets. All was well and swell until one disastrous night, where something tragic happened. This is a story of two kids on e-bikes got into a crash and died.
Woo! Woo! Hey, told you guys!
In the place of Ely and Cardiff back in 2023, two boys were hunted by a police van as they were both speeding down the street until they crashed. Kyrie Sullivan was 16 and Harvey Evans was 15, and they died later that day on Swandon Road. Like Ely back in 1991, with the bread riots, they weren't happy with, so a chaotic riot happened in the street, battling the police officers with fireworks. Everyone and the family members of the two households were outraged from the police not giving them answers, but one thing that sparked the riots was that there was footage of various shots of the chase spreading on social media, and that's when the chaos all unfolded. Multiple cars were torched by the scorching flames and blistering heat. Fireworks zooming at police officers with their shields, and the night looked absolutely insane. The aftermath had burnt cars and 9 people arrested. Harvey's godmother, Bridie Ball, said the pair were best friends and they did everything together. Harvey just had his haircut and eaten his tea before they both went off on a Sur-Ron electric bike together. Shortly after 6 p.m, the boys were involved in a fatal crash in Snowdon Road. I heard a thud, a smash, a man said, who lives a few metres from the site and was in his back garden at the time. I came running around and they were lying there in the street. Relatives got to the scene, but the bodies were kept away by the officers. Rumours quickly circled that the bike was being chased by the police at the time. Cardiff has many attractions to explore. There are many things to do with your time in Cardiff, from Cardiff Castle to Bute Park. Bute Park has tens of thousands of trees, a rushing river, plenty of space to walk, and many benches. There's also a cafe to buy something to eat and drink. There's the bay to look at, since there are several things you can do down there. Near Cardiff Central, there are a majority of entertainment venues such as escape rooms, NQ64 and Roxy Lanes. NQ64 is a bar where you can explore tons of games on arcade machines. For booking, there is a guest list option, up to 2 players, and table booking option. You can also buy alcohol to drink the night away and level up your lifestyle. This bar is open between 4 p.m. to 2 p.m. on Monday all the way till Friday. However, on Sunday and Saturday, NQ64 is open between 12 p.m. to 3 a.m. NQ64 has several other locations to their bar and is very trustworthy. Roxy Lanes is in the Friary and is home of an indoor alcohol and several ball game entertainment venue in Cardiff. There are also other services in the venue such as karaoke, a batting cage, shuffleboard. The pricing for their entertainment varies. Just to name a few, 10-pin bowling is £10 to £12 per person. The cricket batting cage is £48 to £60 per person. Karaoke is £8 to £10 per person. Ice-free curling is £32 to £36 per hour, and the tech dart prices come to £8 to £10 per person. Beer pong is only exclusive with the packages instead. The packages feature the Feast package, which £18 per person includes the standard package, which is £28 per person, and the Ballers package, which is £38 per person. There are quite a few escape rooms dotted around Cardiff. In central Cardiff there are 5 quite near each other, spanning from adventure rooms and escape rooms Cardiff. Sometimes when you walk around Cardiff, there's buskers, mostly around the carousel. People play different types of instruments, varying from the piano all the way to the guitar. You'd rarely see the electric guitar because people usually sing along and play their instrument to the song they've made up. Thank you for watching this documentary. Hopefully you've learned about the topics we have discussed. Tune in next time as we discover when Roath Park froze over, where 2 of these unknown beaches are located, where this 200-year-old pub is now getting demolished, and who is this man? Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later in the next episode. Goodbye.